Hello and welcome to Millennium Tech Talk. Today's Tech Talk is on basic door kit training, and this is session 3, connecting your door kit to Ultra. My name is Damon Palmer and I'll be your Millennium trainer for today. Well, how do we connect our door kit with Millennium Ultra? Well, this is done in 4 easy steps. Step 1, make sure you've completed session 2 configuration. Step 2, download Millennium app and log into Ultra. Step 3, add door kit hardware to Ultra hosted. And step 4, verify that the door kit is online with Ultra. Well, let's get started. Step 1, make sure you have completed session 2 configuration. Well, in order to confirm that we have completed the configuration from session 2, we need to reopen our Millennium configurator and just verify that the information is in the configurations blocks, and also that our kit is linked through the Millennium configurator so it sees the network. We have our network address, we have our port listed, we also have our remote host, and we have our owner or company name ID already typed in. So we are indeed configured and ready to move on to the next step. Alright, so now we bring up our email, and I've split the screen so that we can see the email and also the login at the same time. So again, we're going to need the MGI training company name, we're going to need the login name, and we're going to need the password. And let's go ahead and enter those directly in here. We'll go ahead and highlight over the top of my company, and we'll put in MGI training. And then we'll put in admin, and then we'll type in the password. And we will hit OK. And then I'll go ahead and close the email, and then now we can see that we are into the Ultra software. Step 3, add door kit hardware to Ultra hosted. Well, the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have the addressing correct for our board. So we're going to come back to our door kit, and if you'll notice that right down here in the bottom right, there are 3 little potentiometers right here, and it's basically just hundreds place, tens place, and ones place. So right now they're all set to 0, 0, and 0. So the board address here is 0. Okay, so when we go to the software to set up this board, we want to make sure that the board address is set to 0. Okay, so now that we know our board address is 0, we will go in and start to configure the hardware, which is starting at the top left tab under hardware and hitting controller owner ID. And again, this is the same as the company name ID that we have put into the board and that we got in our email. And in this case, it's MGI training. And then go ahead and hit save. And remember that whatever the owner ID is, it has to be the same in both the software and in the Millennium configurator, or this board will not come online. So make sure you type it exactly as it is in the email, and type it exactly the same as it was typed into Millennium configurator, and then that won't that won't cause you to stumble when you try to bring this online. Okay, then we just move down the list to sites, and we're going to create a new site. Let's call it Parking Garage. And then default is online. And then we only have one tenant, so don't just skip over that. But the number, remember that we said the board address was 0, so we're going to change this to 0. And we're going to skip over the next couple of fields to connection mode. The board comes defaulted from host to controller. We need it to be controller to host. We have the controller with us, and we want it to control somewhere else to a host on Amazon Web Services through this port number. And this is where we'll put the port number that was on our email, and again it's 2755, and you can type it in right there. Now if you also remember from the configurator, the board address was 10.0.0.235, and you can put that in as a reference in case you need to ping it later or something like that, but it'd be a good place to put in there as a reference. And then just go ahead and hit save. And then move on down the list to doors. So the next thing we need to do is add some doors to our controller. We've added the site, which is the supervisory aspect of the controller. Now we need to add the 2 door positions. So again, we click new. And because we are starting over with 0, we will need to move this down to 0. All of your sights and doors begin counting at 0. So go ahead and type in, let's just call this entrance gate. And these can be whatever your door name that you need it to be. And you can type in a description of maybe where on property it is or any kind of thing like that that you need for further description. We're going to click on the site, which is parking garage. So we're attaching this entrance gate door to the parking garage. And if you want to, you can leave a nice reference here. So if that parking garage is probably going to be other because it's an RFID reader, then that way you know it's not an electric strike or a maglock or anything like that. The next box down is reader, and you will click on reader. And the simple setup here is just click down. Almost all the readers that are compatible nowadays are Wiegand based. And then also we're going to have you select a card format. All of our basic readers are Wiegand 26-bit. And then facility code is either 1 for on, or it's Wiegand 26 with no facility code. So we are using facility code, so go ahead and click facility code on, and then hit OK. And then move across to relays. And this is where you'll set how the relays react to different inputs and outputs. And the relay comes defaulted to no action. So we want it to be valid user. So we want to set up later, we're going to set up card holders and credentials. So we want it to be a valid user. And we want that valid user to be able to use their reader anytime, so always. And then we're going to give it a few seconds for the relay to activate and then begin to close again. So 3 seconds is typical. If you're using a maglock, you're going to want to go ahead and click on request to exit, or if you're using an exit gate. So you want to turn the REX on to activate the relay. Now this will only work if something's actually connected to the REX inputs on your board, but otherwise if you have something connected to it and it's not checked, it will ignore the motion sensor or your push button. So make sure you have that checked if you're using a maglock or a gate. And then hit OK. And then that's all you really need to do at this point, so go ahead and hit save. And then hit new because we have 2 new doors, right? So we're going to go ahead and set up our exit gate as well while we're here. And again, it defaults to online. We are using it on the parking garage. We're going to do the same thing we did before and just note the fact that this is an other. And then setup, we're going to make this a Wiegand reader, and we're going to use Wiegand 26-bit with a facility code. Hit save. And then for relays, you will click on the relay mode again, valid user, always, and a few seconds along with REX. So you may want this exit gate to work just as soon as a car pulls up, or you may want to have that work, yes, but you may also want to read their card to make sure they've actually left the parking lot, and that will be a very key feature on several different modules, including the parking module, where you'll want to know when someone goes into the garage and also leaves the garage. Once you have the relay mode, the activation time period, and your seconds active in relay, go ahead and hit OK. And then at that point, go ahead and hit save. And now you should have, and you can do right here just a quick filter and just select your parking garage, and it will just show you the doors that we've created just on the parking garage, an entrance gate and an exit gate, and we should be good to go. Step 4, verify the door kit is online with Ultra. So after we've added all of our hardware, we went through the process of adding the, up under hardware, we have added the controller owner ID, we added the new site, the parking garage, and then we added the 2 doors under parking garage, the entrance gate and the exit gate. Let's now go ahead and see if we've been able to bring everything online. So let's go on up to the maps, and then click on device map, and that will bring up a map hierarchical tree. And if you drop everything down, I have some other equipment in here that I do for training, but if you notice the new one we just put on is green, which is good. That means it's online. And then if we bring this down, we can see that both doors are also online, and that I have other information about the parking garage and the entrance gate and the exit gate from the board, and we're able to see that they're online. Now I'm going to leave this screen just for a second and switch over to the video because there's one thing that we can see from there. All right, and now here we are back at the kit. And again, I just wanted to point out another way to verify that when a board is online is that the rapid flashing of the power light. Now, just for the sake of, you can see now that it's rapidly flashing, but if the board for some reason were to be offline, and I'll do that by just removing the Cat5 cable, and if you wait a couple seconds, you'll see that the light will slow down. There you go. And then see now it's flashing very slowly. So that's an indication that the board is offline. It's slowly flashing. But as soon as I reconnect the board back up to the internet, wait a couple seconds, and as soon as it reestablishes connection to the software, it will begin rapid flashing again. And it sometimes takes a couple seconds. There you go. So see, now that it's rapid flashing, we know that it's back online. So this is a confirmation as well from the board side, so that you can tell that it's online. And then, of course, from the software side, you saw the green indicators that showed that they were online. And this concludes session 3. The next step is session 4, configuring access levels, card holders, and credentials. We hope you have found this very valuable training. And again, my name is Damon Palmer, and I was your Millennium Trainer for today. If you have any questions or feedback, please email customer care at customerservice@mgiaccess.com. And thank you for attending, and have a great day.